Hey everybody, welcome to Travel Shark. Today we're going to travel hack Puerto Rico and see the best and worst this island has to offer. Puerto Rico is an unincorporated U.S. territory located in the Caribbean with a mountainous landscape. It has one of the most extensive artistic, cultural, and historical legacies. There is so much to do and see, you'll be hard-pressed to get everything in a single visit. First, let's see why you should visit this wonderful island. Number 1. Mosquito Bay. If you've been to the South Viquez Beach during the day, then you know that not a lot is going on. This seems like a stereotypical hideout during the day, an excellent place to rest and relax. Try checking it out at night, however. In Mosquito Bay, there's a type of organism called dinoflagellates. They're bioluminescent. More than 6 million dinoflagellates per gallon live in the Mosquito Bay, and they'll make it glow blue during the night. If you look closer, you can see them individually and how small they are. A quiet approach is recommended so you don't disturb them. Going in a kayak's the best way. Remember not to use bug spray containing DEET, as this is lethal for these wonderful creatures. Number 2. Old San Juan. There's no doubt that you must have seen these beautiful buildings and roads in at least one of the movies you watched. The cobblestone streets will teach you a lot about Puerto Rican history and culture. But that's additional. Even simply strolling down these roads is relaxing. The best time for a visit is in the early morning if you need it to be less crowded. As the day begins, many visitors and vacationers are going to flood into Old San Juan. You can always catch a free trolley passing around if you don't feel like walking anymore. But our recommendation is not to wait for them, as they're not frequent. Old San Juan becomes a totally different place as night falls. You can drink and dance to native merengue music. Do not miss Calle del Cristo at any cost. This place is full of restaurants, boutiques, and art galleries. You'll definitely want to spend some dollars here. Number 3. El Morro. Inside the National Historical Site of San Juan, there are 2 forts, one being El Morro and the other being Castillo San Cristobal. Despite being the largest Spanish fortress in America, Fort San Cristobal doesn't get many visitors. El Morro, on the other hand, gets all the attention. While San Cristobal was to deter land attacks, El Morro is for sea attacks. This was built in 1539 and was strong enough to stand firm after World War II. You'll be amazed to see the tunnel maze, prison cells, and barracks. There are park rangers on the site to answer your questions, and there will be exhibitions and films to teach you more about their history. This is an on-foot journey of 2 to 3 hours if you explore it the right way. Wear comfortable shoes and clothing. Number 4. El Yunque National Forest. Beaches and seaside ruins are not the only things you have in Puerto Rico. You must visit the El Yunque National Forest to enjoy nature. This is a tropical rainforest spreading across 29,000 acres. As this has a temperate tropical climate all year long, the forest will stay the same throughout the year. Although camping here is not available, there are plenty of other things that nature lovers can enjoy. You can even take a zipline tour across the forest and try hiking. There are different trails of different difficulties. An easy trail called Angelito will lead you to beautiful swimming spots. If you need a challenging hike, you should try the La Coca Trail. But if you need to go to the peak of the Luquillo Mountains, then try the El Toro Trail. If you're paying a visit to this amazing El Yunque forest, remember to wear water-resistant clothing or covers, as it will mostly be wet due to the high rainfall. If you're lucky, you'll even get to see the beautiful birds and colorful frogs living here. Number 5. Window Cave. Does it sound familiar when said Cueva Ventana? Yep, this is it. When you go inside it and look through the opening, you'll feel like you're looking at the world beneath you from a window. You'll get to hike through this limestone cave and see stone engravings and petroglyphs from pre-Columbian times. To explore it to the best, you must join a guided tour. Trained biologists will give you a great tour with everything you need to know about the plants and animals in the cave. You'll also learn about the life of the Taino Indians. Though this is an easy hike, it will be easy for you to get ready with hiking gear and comfortable clothes. The cave is open from 10:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the evening, and a visitor ticket will cost around $20. If you're a fan of caves, after an hour's drive from San Juan, you can find the world's most extensive underground cave system, El Rio Camuy Caves. This spread over 10 miles with a total of 220 caves. You'll even get to go ziplining and try river jumping. Puerto Rico is a relatively safe destination for visitors, with a lower crime rate than many other areas of the United States. It is one of the most secure Caribbean islands. But still, despite the beauty and many places to visit, there are things that you should be aware of regarding Puerto Rico. Number 1. Scams. There's no place in the world completely free of scams. The same applies to Puerto Rico. So you must be aware of a few scams here, including taxi and rental car scams, pickpockets, and false guides. Most taxi drivers will not turn on the meter when they start the journey, or tell you they don't have change. The best way to avoid this is to use a GPS system and check everything before starting the journey. When renting a car in Puerto Rico, keep an eye out for unnecessary toll pass fees, inflated deposits, and hidden fees for stuff like cleaning the sand from your car. The safest and most advisable agency is Discover Cars. A local may reach you and claim to be a guide who can take you to unique locations. He'll then take you somewhere he can make a profit by bringing clients. You won't know about this commission, but you'll have to pay higher prices for things you buy. Number 2. Natural disasters. Natural disasters can occur anywhere, but if you do a little bit of research ahead of time, you can always avoid the trouble. Puerto Rico is famous for hurricanes, for instance. These can be destructive and deadly, but if you remember that the hurricane season is from June to November, you can avoid this period. If there is a hurricane, you'll be notified at least a week before, and you can adjust your plans accordingly. It's best to consider the atmosphere and climate of Puerto Rico as well. The average temperature will be 87 degrees Fahrenheit, and the humidity will also be high. Simply, it will be hot and humid all year long. Occasionally, clouds of dust from the Sahara Desert have traveled all the way to Puerto Rico, affecting the air quality and making people sick. Number 3. Driving might not be easy. American visitors will feel at ease with the driving style in Puerto Rico. Still, international visitors should know that following signs on the island's roads is challenging. There will be times when none are available. Some traffic lights are still out after Hurricane Maria, and roads in both urban and rural areas are full of potholes. Honking is very usual among locals, and is typically used to alert the front car the traffic light has changed. So don't get alarmed or offended, as it's their typical way of communication on the road. But these drivers are often aggressive and pay little attention to traffic laws. Beware, as carjackings can occur at night, particularly in rural areas. It's a good idea to have a good map and several Spanish phrases to ask for directions, as GPS is not always trustworthy in Puerto Rico. Number 4. Better to avoid some neighborhoods. There are areas to avoid on the island, especially at night, as drug trafficking and gang fights may occur. To ensure your safety in Puerto Rico, avoid going to the public residential areas known as caseríos. It's best to avoid La Perla, Puerta de Tierra, Parque de las Palomas, Pinoñez, and Santrus. Bypass dark alleys and isolated areas as well. Make sure you stay in areas with crowds and police patrol. Number 5. Solo travel. It's not that Puerto Rico is not safe when you're traveling alone, but there are things that you should follow for your own safety. If a woman travels alone, it's best not to wear expensive jewelry. Always try not to walk alone at night, and don't tell people you can't trust where you're staying. Overall, however, Puerto Rico is a great place to visit. These are just a few small things to consider. That's it for today's upload. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any top travel videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care!